And starting to the top right for FXOpen, their starting player today, it is
FXO JKS.
No early pool just yet for him. He goes into the Overlord instead, trying to play a little bit more of a macro-oriented game on a big map like Whirlwind. His opponent, the StarTale player to the top left, is exactly the same, a little bit of different Overlord timing. This is, of course, for Team StarTale.
StarTale, curious.
And actually, you know, this is kind of a StarTale type thing, is to get the Overlord like that. Life always does the drone cancel, and Curious in this case not actually going for that, just going to take the drones after, getting the Overlord on 10. It's kind of been like almost proven that the 9 Overlord is the best one, but people still stylistically kind of do different things based on what they like. Thanks for coming down, all of you, by the way.
Yeah, one of the things that we actually have here is a bit of a more lucky timing for the FXOpen player. JKS with the Overlord sending it to the top left will definitely be in the know about the timing of the hatchery that we see now going down for Curious first. Curious, of course, with the Overlord that he's also sending out now, the second one, will know where exactly the FXOpen player spawned on the map, but his scouting of the timings and of the hatch, the pool timing, the gas timing is going to be much, much later.
Yeah, that's true. And we actually have a gas first here for JKS upon scouting that fast hatchery, so that's a smart choice. And, you know, a good response here by Curious to see the Overlord and also go gas first, because he may be thinking something like this is happening when he sees that Overlord. It's a little bit of a risk, but it's a smart one. I like it.
I mean, he doesn't have the scouting information. The build works out well for him. It's exactly the same build that both players are going for, but he's definitely gambling a little bit more than JKS is, just because he already knows about the timing and can therefore just have a quick look into the main base as well. So far, things are actually going pretty well for both players. No huge differences here. And it all comes down on what exactly they're going to try to do on the two bases. We could see a tech into something like Mutalis, having a few out on the map to just clear the Overlords, make sure that there's no room for scouting anymore, that the vision on the map of the opposing player is absolutely reduced. Or on the other hand, just one of these roach timings that we've seen a lot in the recent past.
Yeah, definitely could be a roach timing. You know, the really fast speed here, or actually he's, okay, I was going to say you need to get that, but very fast speed here for JKS, and Curious does the same, and both leaving drones in gas, so it looks like we're going to see a tech-oriented build here. I mean, I don't think it's going to be a Baneling Nest going down next or anything like that.
Well, on a map like Whirlwind, you can definitely go for Baneling aggression as well. And if you, I mean, we have a few Harvesters pulled out, but a Baneling Nest getting it here is not necessarily a bad move. You have a pretty big ramp to defend at the natural, so it's really tricky to just throw down, let's say, a double evolution chamber and a Roach Roar and completely wall this. So we have the first Baneling Nest already coming in for Curious, and that's one of the styles that he's really preferring. He likes to have that Baneling Nest. It's not only a safety precaution, but at the same time, you have the opportunity to be aggressive. Wouldn't be surprised to see for JKS exactly the same, even if he just tries to get like 2 or 3 defensive Banelings on the top of the ramp.
I should clarify, I mean like an aggressive Baneling Nest. A defensive one on this map is almost required because of how wide the ramp is. And actually a big commitment to Zerglings alone here for JKS, going into 12 right now, and that's why Curious makes his Baneling Nest, just to be safe.
Yeah, Curious is in a really good spot now, because if he gets a few Banelings and he just puts them on top of the ramp, that Speedling attack that JKS is currently going for will be shut down quite easily. But the FXOpen player throws now his own Baneling Nest into the game, and this is a lot of aggression coming out for JKS now, as we already expected. He's the one who wants to initiate the fights here, and Curious is playing the more reactionary game, even building his own Spinecrawler right now, because he wants to make sure that he can snipe those Banelings at the beginning. He has to be careful in the main base though, but now he sees the rest of the Zerglings heading his way, so more and more Banelings are going to be needed for him.
Exactly, one Spinecrawler nearly finished at the natural. It's going to help out a little bit against aggressive Banelings by JKS. These 2 Banelings alone are not going to be enough, actually, if there's good micro from JKS, and so far it's really good.
Yeah, micro so far is good. The Zerglings are heading into the main base. Another set of Zerglings immediately going for the natural, but we have those Banelings not doing any damage whatsoever. That could have been much better detonates against the Zerglings here. So at this point, JKS really doing some damage. More Banelings are already morphing. 22 Harvesters against 34 on the other hand. So Curious has the lead in economy. He just has to defend it.
Yeah, and you know, actually, it looks like he will. 3 Banelings are about to finish, but they're not quite ready yet. There they go. 3 of them running into the drone line. Where's the split? Curious taking some serious damage here. Loses, looks like 4 Harvesters there.
Yeah, 4 in total, but he's still ahead with rather 8 Harvesters. We have a couple of Zerglings at the natural trying to cause some trouble and taking out even additional drones, but Curious now has his own Zerglings in the game and a couple of Banelings that really make sure that JKS just can't do too much. And Curious so far is still ahead in the game.
Yeah, massively, and he's got the Queens out. He's at the spine at the front. and he will deflect this next wave easily. I feel like the micro for those first few banelings could have been better for Curious, but JKS is splitting on the Zerglings could have been a little bit better as well in the last fight to try to pick off more drones.
I'm also pretty sure that we missed the baneling hit at the natural because he lost a lot of Zerglings, JKS that is, and I feel not all of them were really just Ling versus Ling fights. One Queen went down, of course, for Curious, so his injects were a bit limited there, but at the same time, he's the one with the better economy. He's currently only up a few Harvesters, but he has a very, very solid position here. He needs to be careful, though. Zergling still running into his main base, scouting what exactly is going on, seeing, of course, not only the gas timing, but also the progress of the lair tech.
Yeah. So things have evened up a little bit here, but an advantage definitely goes to Curious, and he makes an additional Spinecrawler just to be safe. He's always checking to make sure these Lings are not going to catch him off guard. The lair timing is almost exactly the same between these two players, but if I'm not mistaken, yeah, Curious has all of his gas up, and he's had them up for a lot longer. There's not even a 4th gas taken yet for JKS, so that gas income makes such a big difference. And he might even just go Mutas here. Not sure, though. I mean, he sees the lair timing of his opponent as well. He's not going to know when it finishes, though.
He sees everything at this point, and Curious is playing a very safe game here. We have the Spire coming up for him now, so as mentioned before, if you go for the Mutalisks here, you will at the beginning be able to do a lot of damage to your opponent, supply and to the vision. Just taking down those Overlords is worth a lot. At the same time, though, you have to be careful and transition out as soon as there are too many Spore Crawlers on the map. With 3 shots, one of those Spore Crawlers can just take down the Mutalisks here. The micro, of course, in the Zergling Baneling fight is always the most important part. And we have JKS being the one who goes into speed for his Banelings and also produces a ton of Zerglings right now. He really wants to end it here.
Yeah, he's just going to try to go for a speed Baneling attack, which is...
And takes a 3rd behind it. That gives him production and a potential, like, fallback.
He keeps letting these Banelings go for 1. Obviously, this time he's not letting it go, but the last few that we've seen, even at the natural, he wastes a lot of Banelings like that. And a speed Baneling attack, I mean, it looks like that's what he's going for here, but it can work, but it's probably not going to. Curious has 2 spines, and if he sees this coming, all he has to do is prepare his own Banelings at home. And speed Banelings versus regular Banelings, as long as the Banelings connect, it's okay.
Depends on what kind of way he's going to need to attack, because the problem for him might going to be the Mutalisk. If the Mutalisk focus the Banelings down, then he has a problem. But for now, Curious is absolutely safe, and JKS is now building his Banelings.
Yeah, he's building 15 of them versus 2 additional ones, and the 10 meters I think he should easily be able to hold here.
It's scouted though, and the Mutalisks are not out just yet. He sees all of them, so he needs to send the Mutalisks over. Oh, there we go, and the Zerglings for Curious are already gone. The army supply is 33 against 22 in favor of Curious currently, and the Mutalisks are out. The Mutalisks can move in right away and take down these Banelings without a problem whatsoever, and that's horrible for JKS.
Yeah,
it could be worse.
It could not be worse, and he lets one Baneling hit all of his Banelings, and that seals the deal. No drones killed here, and that is going to be game. The Mutalisks are now going to dominate the map. All of the gas Mineers